Luffy is scared. He is shook. Ladies and gentlemen, Anime Real Talk here today to bring you a review of One Piece chapter 1090. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? It's been a long time since I've done a One Piece chapter review. Back though, we're back.
I am the hype!
And I'm here to try to ease my way back into another review and how to figure this out and how to do it.
That's okay, take your time.
So I got notes about stuff I want to talk about with this chapter because, you know, roughing it out right now. I'm a little late on the chapter review. I'm going to dread editing it because it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but I got stuff to do. My power's been out for the past 2 days, so I've got a lot of editing to do and a lot of videos to catch up on. But I figured I'd go ahead and record this because One Piece 1090 has dropped. So we got stuff to talk about. Let's get on and talk about it.
Let's go!
Straight off the gate, let's talk about some things I want to discuss. First off was Saturn discussing 3 things are the most important to rescue in this mission: York, Punk Records, and the Mother Flame. And out of all the 3, the one that's the most important is York. That is the most important one. Saturn said, you know, they can afford to lose the Mother Flame and Punk Records, mainly because York herself still has info, I would assume, on some of the Punk Records, and she can also possibly rebuild the Mother Flame. So they can afford, in the worst case scenario, if they had to pick out of the 3 to save, it's going to be York, because there's a lot of things that that I'd say she can probably build, and let alone information she has already from Vegapunk himself. Which is why I think another big crucial moment that's going to happen in this chapter and within this arc is eventually we're going to get a conflict between KIZARU and someone else. We'll get into that later. We'll get to it later. Hold on.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Next, Saturn pretty much is saying that all of CP0 and all the rest of the agents that's there, they're expendable, you know. Also, even though he does say the main plan is to, you know, save them, but once again, the worst case scenario, humans will repopulate. There's no hard feelings. We can get people back. It's not a big deal. It's people, they're ants, they're insects, it don't matter. So we see where Saturn's headed out on that. Obviously, the main goal is to save everyone, but if they can't, no biggie.
It's just as I expected.
We also do get that Rob Lucci is secretly communicating and relaying information to Saturn and the Gorosei. Even though he's talking to himself, even though Kaku asked him, you know, who's he talking to. One that Lucci is low-key, very low-key, relaying information to Saturn and the Gorosei about everything that's going on right now, because he's with the Straw Hats. He's with the Straw Hats, he's with Vegapunk, and he's hearing everything that's being discussed. We got York. She's still crying about the Gorosei. They're going to save her, and she does make a comment about, you know, the Destroyer's Island, like, you know, O'Hara, which I was like, oh, Robin's there. We do see Robin. Robin's smiling. So Robin's keeping her cool. She's chilled out. She's like, whatever. It's all good.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel.
We find out also Edison's still alive, which is pretty crazy. I thought Edison was dead because he had the X symbols over his eyes from last chapter, I believe. We see that the CP agents have been freed and they've been fed by the Straw Hats. Also plays into like something Luffy had talked to about Kaido within the last arc when Kaido asked what kind of world he wants, and Luffy says, you know, I want a world where all my friends can eat as much as they want. Obviously, at this point, we're seeing that it possibly includes enemies.
Maybe.
So maybe Luffy's dream is something to do with making sure everyone in the world can eat, or have a feast together, or something of that nature. I don't know. We do see the Hancock Seraphim. Her petrification was reversed because of Luffy, which further shows that Luffy has this ability that, once again, Mihawk himself talked about in Marineford, which is dangerous. He can make friends out of anybody. So even the Seraphim. York's trying thinking she's sneaky, saying she set a password on the computer, and this she's like, I'm not going to tell, I refuse to tell. But also mentions afterwards how she's getting hungry, which possible things come into play. I think the password York set is probably fairly freaking simple.
Really makes you think.
Just because she probably thinks that it's so simple that not even Vegapunk would think of it, but 2 things could play in a factor here. They could feed her to get the password, possibly. Or someone as dense as Luffy is going to know the password because it's so simple.
That is crazy.
I see that happening. I really see Luffy being the one to figure out the password because it's so simple. And it's something Oda would do. So yeah, I see that happening. Nami and Vegapunk talk about what their escape plan is going to be. Nami makes a mention how the log post, they haven't been there very long, so the log post hasn't reset, but she talks about why not going to the destination they were going to go next anyway, you know, before Luffy drew the shortest straw out of the three, which was Elbaf, which is, ooh, I don't know if you want to go to Elbaf right now. I don't know if you want to go to Elbaf right now. After what Kid just experienced, that'd be, how would the confrontation there be between Luffy and Shanks? Luffy and Shanks are way too close. And to be fair, Kid attacked first, so it is, you know, fair game. But I don't see that happening, and a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to Elbaf. I don't think it's happening because earlier, Lucci's relaying information to the Gorosei.
You smart.
Telling about their escape plan. They're probably going to intercept them at some point because Saturn does, you know, mention how Luffy thinks he's in control, but in reality, he's a cornered rat. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's a false hype up moment. They're going to catch wind of it. They're going to find a way to intercept Luffy and the gang, and we're going to lead to a big conflict. I don't see them going to Elbaf. They'll be get thrown off course. I don't see it. That's Shanks' base of operation that I don't see Luffy and Shanks still not meeting yet. I don't think it's quite time yet. We're close. We're very close. Just don't see it. We do get a nice little moment between Frankie and Vegapunk. You know how Frankie's been a fanboy of Vegapunk this whole entire time. Vegapunk giving Frankie some props, being enamored by the Sunny and how it runs on cola. He just thinks it's so cool how he gives Frankie a lot of props in a way of just admiring everything he's built. And you know, Frankie, good member of Frankie, good member of Frankie. I can't wait to see them two interact even more. Near the end of the chapter, we get Kizaru, him and Saturn still discussing things. Saturn discusses how, you know, Kizaru can, like, he should probably ignore Sentomaru. But Kizaru, cool, really weird, like, switching of the gears here. How from a couple chapters earlier, was it last chapter, one of the two, he had initially said, he's another cog in the wheel, he just obeys orders, to now he's refusing to betray, now he refuses to betray his ideals, which is, you know, acknowledge Sentomaru. So that was very interesting. Once again, Kizaru's justice is unclear. We don't know his true form of justice. I say we got some exploring to do with Kizaru. Possibly this arc, maybe. We'll see. But we do see at the end of the chapter, Kizaru clashes with Sentomaru. After he's like charging him, he's telling Sentomaru, you know, I hope you're ready. And Sentomaru's like, you know, I got the toughest defense in the world. And he can intercept Kizaru, who is, I would assume, obviously, much faster than Rob Lucci, even in like full awakened Zoan form. I mean, just miles faster than Lucci.
Yes, sir.
How the freak can Sentomaru clash with Kizaru and just react to that, but he can't react to Rob Lucci?
What?
It doesn't make sense at all. But we're going to get a fight between Sentomaru and Kizaru, or quote unquote fight. The biggest part is Luffy. Luffy senses Kizaru.
What the is that?
I wouldn't say he's sweating.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
He's a little worried. Like, oh, someone super strong's here. And this is post Wano, better control of Gear 5, Luffy. I'm just saying. Y'all need to quit down admirals. They're not all equal. Green Bull and Kizaru are not on the same level. I'm just saying. But are we going to eventually get a clash between Kizaru and Luffy? Oh yeah, I think it's inevitable. I think, given the information Rob Lucci's been handing out, he's going to beat Sentomaru. Not kill. I don't know if he's going to kill him. I don't know. It's Oda. Oda and killing people is very far and few between. But he's eventually going to get past Sentomaru, and he's eventually going to reach Luffy. And I think Luffy and Kizaru are going to have some sort of like scuffle. Not a full-out fight, but they're definitely going to clash. I just want to see Luffy and Saturn actually interact with each other. How Saturn reacts to Luffy's Gear 5. I really want to see that. But that was the chapter. Overall, pacing was fairly good. Art was decent. Overall, this chapter, I would give the chapter a rating of I give it a B. It's a good chapter. And that's it. I'm done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for whenever I upload videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.